Have you ever wondered why someone who has only met you a few times can have such a deep affection for you? They don't need to know too much about you. It doesn't take much time to get to know you. But it seems that, from the first moment, they are drawn to something about you. Is it because of your appearance? Is it because of your pleasant words, or your friendly smile? Or is there something deeper, more difficult to name? Something that lies deep in the unconscious, but awakens emotions in them? Carl Jung, the great 20th century psychologist, once said, "We don't love others just because they are them, but because they evoke something very deep within ourselves. Something we have carried in our subconscious all our lives." In other words, others are attracted to you not just because you are you, but because they see themselves somewhere in you. In today's video, we will delve into 2 unconscious reasons why someone truly loves you, and at the same time, understand why intense relationships often fall apart after a few months of passion. And before we begin,
Please leave a comment below.
have you ever felt a strong connection with someone the first time you met?
In your opinion, is love a matter of FATE or a choice of reason?
I look forward to reading your sharing, because who knows?
Your story today.
May be a source of encouragement for someone listening.
When someone like you,
The reason they give is usually simple. I think you're cute.
he likes the way you act.
Or just, I don't know why, but I'm drawn to you. But behind those seemingly gentle words, there is a complex psychological maze, where emotions and the unconscious are silently guiding the way.
And if you dig deeper,
You'll realize that
they don't just love you for who you are.
they love you because you remind them of something that they once had, that they once desired, or that they once lost. Like an old song. Just a few notes ring out. A whole memory in them reawakens. And that's when
Oui, comme tout raison, hein.
you represent what they're missing. Everyone has a part of themselves that they have forgotten. Maybe because of responsibility. Maybe because of past hurts. Because of what others said.
He shouldn't live like that.
Someone was a dreamy child, but grew up to be realistic and disciplined. Someone wanted to express their feelings, but had to learn to suppress them so they wouldn't get hurt. Then, one day, you appeared. You lived up to what they had hoped they would dare to live. You dared to say what they had always kept to themselves. You were the free version they had wished they could be. An introvert, someone who was shy to express themselves, might fall in love with someone who spoke frankly and dared to express themselves. Because deep down, they wanted to be like that too. Someone who was always conforming, bound by a framework, might be attracted to someone who lived spontaneously and full of life. Because they were once that child, and then lost themselves when they grew up. That feeling. It's not just a simple like or admiration. It's a silent, but very powerful voice that echoes in their mind.
You know this feeling.
I was like that. I've longed to live like that, but never dared.
You remind me of a deep part of myself. The parions lost.
And it's that invisible resonance that makes them strongly attracted to you, in a way that cannot be explained in words. Because simply, their heart flutters before their reason can analyze it. As you can see, love is not simply liking someone because they are good. Sometimes, we are attracted to the missing part of our soul, the part that the other person is unknowingly living, expressing. But every deep resonance has a bright side and a dark side. When someone loves you because you are the image of what they desire, then at the same time, they are looking at you through a mirror, not with a clear, honest gaze. This psychological phenomenon has a name. It is called projection. It means they are not really seeing who you are. They are seeing themselves. A forgotten part of themselves, reflected in you. You are not making them feel new. It is you awakening something old but deep in them. Something that has been buried by pressure, hurt, or time. They call it love. But in fact, it may just be a connection with a part of themselves that they are searching for. And then, as a natural law of psychology, one day, that image begins to crack. You, no matter how wonderful, are still human. There are times when you are sad, when you are tired, when you do not react as they expect. And when you are no longer like the image they have built. They begin to be confused, disappointed.
And the initial feeling of infatuation bégin tout fade.
But the reason is not because you have changed. It is also not because their feelings are fake. It is because the illusion is broken. Because now they no longer see themselves in you. And when that reflection is gone, the feelings also lose their foundation to exist. Many relationships break down not because anyone did anything wrong. Because one side used to love with idealization, and the other side is just living as themselves. We've talked about projection, when someone falls in love with you because they see a part of themselves in you. But that's not all. There's a deeper, more subtle, but equally powerful layer that draws people to you without them even knowing why. It's not a fleeting emotion. It's an unconscious touch to an image that's been ingrained in their minds since childhood. According to Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, everyone has an unconscious archetype of the opposite sex, called
Cyclonanima, the image of a woman in a man subconscious. Cyclonanimus, the image of a man in a woman's subconscious.
Those images are not intentionally created by us, but are formed from a very young age, through observing our mother's eyes, our father's voice, or through fairy tales, movies, the ideal image that we once admired. Little by little, those details quietly overlap,
Formant a perfect frame in our mind.
about the person we will want to love, want to believe, want to hold hands with for the rest of our lives. And then one day, you enter their life. You don't need to be exactly like that model. You don't need to do anything special.
Just a touch of charisma.
A look, a way of speaking. Evoking the right frequency that their mind has stored for a long time. At that moment, they feel an immediate connection. Like, I know this person.
You said to love someone like that.
We belong together, even though we've never met. But what is the truth? It's not fate. It's not a predestined relationship. It's, their minds have just recognized a symbol that has been dormant for a long time. When people fall in love with an unconscious image,
They don't fall in love with you.
they fall in love with a role in their mind. They start treating you as if you were that person.
Always gentle, always understanding, always there, always perfect.
But you are a real person.
You have good days, bad days.
Sometimes you are quiet, sometimes you need your own space. And you are not always the ideal person in their imagination.
Then there comes a time when you don't play the part.
When you show yourself honestly, it breaks the whole script in their mind. They are disappointed. They are confused. But not because you did anything wrong. It's because they never saw the real you in the first place. They fell in love with the image, but never had the chance to fall in love with the real you. And that's why so many relationships that seem destined end up falling apart so quickly. Not because anyone changed, but because that love was built on an image that never belonged to reality.
When a relationship breaks down,
We often ask ourselves, why did things change? Was the initial feeling just an illusion?
we blame ourselves.
Blame the other person. Or think that that love was wrong from the beginning, just because it originated from the unconscious. But if we look through the eyes of Carl Jung,
The master of inner analysis, we will see another truth, deeper, more beautiful.
Jung did not see the collapse of the initial illusions as failure. On the contrary, he believed it was an essential part of the journey of spiritual growth. For Jung, love is not just an emotion. It is not just a connection between two hearts. But love is the most powerful tool for human beings to grow from within. A means, even a mirror, to reflect the truth that we have never seen.
Every person you've ever loved.
Didn't come to you by accident. They came to do something for you. Some came to awaken a part of your potential that you forgot you had. They made you want to dream bigger, live more authentically, be stronger. Some came to touch the wound you thought was healed. They made you tremble, fear, withdraw, so that you had to face yourself and heal. Some came as a light, to help you see that you deserve to be loved, to be heard, to be yourself. And some came as a challenge, to make you learn to let go, to stand up for yourself, and to understand that your worth is not in the hands of others. Love is the biggest mirror that life puts before us. It not only reflects who the other person is, but more importantly, it shows us who we are.
Maybe you realize. I am in love to fill the void.
I am hoping that the other person will heal me. Or I am in love, just because they bring back some beautiful memory. But it is these realizations that are really important. Because when the veil of the unconscious is lifted, you begin to see clearly, and return to yourself. Love, therefore, is not just romance. It is not just a smile, a promise, a handshake. It is a deep invitation from within your soul. Come back. Look back. Grow up. Love does not always last. But if you look deeply, every love affair, short or long, is a lesson. Part of the journey of self-discovery. And sometimes, the greatest thing you get out of a relationship isn't someone to hold hands with for the rest of your life, but a deeper, more authentic version of yourself. So, if you've ever felt hurt after a relationship, if you've ever thought, they don't really love me, then maybe you're just looking at things from a very narrow perspective.
The truth is,
they did. Only, that love wasn't for the version of yourself you thought you were. It was for a deeper part of you that they were reflecting. Love, after all, is not just a story of two people. It's a journey of each person through the other, to return deeper to themselves. So the next time someone comes to you too quickly, loves you too intensely, don't get too carried away by that feeling.
Quietly ask yourself,
what part of them am I awakening? What part of me are they illuminating? Because you are more than a person, a name, a face. You are a symbol. Is the button to open a certain inner journey. Is the transition in a person's soul. And so,
the people you love do not come by chance.
They are mirrors, reflecting the parts you dare not look directly at.
The things you still deny.
Or the potentials you dare not live fully. Love is not to keep anyone. Love is for us to look back at ourselves.
Clearer, deeper, more truthful. If the sharing in this video touch you, leave a comment. Have you ever loved someone like a mirror?
And what did you see in yourself from that feeling? Each line of your sharing. Maybe it will be a suggestion for someone on the journey to understand themselves. And if you find this video valuable, do not hesitate to click like, subscribe to the channel, to accompany each other in more profound spiritual conversations. Thank you for listening this far.
Wishing you a gentle and fulfilling journey of love and return.